Department of State Security on Wednesday produced the 12 detained aides of Sunday Igboho before the Federal High Court, Abuja. Recall that Justice Igboho'S had ordered the DSS to produce all the Igboho'S aides to enable the court's inquiry into the circumstances surrounding their arrest. On Monday, when the Igboho'S aides were brought to court, 4 out of the 12 were absent. Sunday Igboho spokesman Olayomi Koiki gives more updates on the 12 detained associates.
The president is here in London taking medical treatment, but we'll be talking about all that. But for now, I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. It is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, how are you doing, sir?
Well, it's a bright, morning, and I'm doing very well. It's good to be back again as usual. After quite a lot in terms of latest information I will try to bring to all our listeners from around the globe. But as you can see, it's good to be back again to UK after quite a lot in Africa, where Star Radio UK was doing quite a lot before we return back to London, and we will be doing more to all our listeners. But for now, I'm doing very well. 16 minutes past 11, it is Star Radio UK.
All right, so what's up? What is the top story today in Nigeria?
Well, the top story is we're expecting, a court resumption back, with those that were taken to Abuja, by the DSS. If you remember, on Monday, they were brought to the court on Monday, but for whatever reason, the DSS, did not bring all the 8 individuals back as requested by the honorable judge in Abuja. But again, you can imagine, the kind of stress, that would have taken, to so many people that have been following that development as well. So we'll be talking on that as well. But like I said, it is a lot happening, and I can tell you, from what I have here, Moyele Showore as well. I've just spotted him right in the court, courtroom. I mean, in the court premises rather, in the Federal High Court in Abuja. At the court that was taken to the house of the people that were arrested at Igboho'S house. So that development is still unfolding, and I might be giving more as we have it on Star Radio UK this morning. But I can say that that is one of the latest news that is trending, apart from, that the president is still here in London, taking medical treatment as well. 8 days, people have been camping. Tomorrow is the 5th of August. There would also be quite a lot happening. I'm getting court restrained Department of State Service from arresting Sunday Igboho. Let's see what that news is, because like I said, there's quite a lot coming out of Abuja. The court has ordered that it must not, this is coming. Court restrained Department of State Service from arresting Sunday Igboho. The court has ordered that he must not be arrested, detained, killed in the next 14 days. So in Oyo, let me bring this closer to the house. There's quite a lot happening. There was a motion that was also filed at Oyo State on behalf of Chief Sunday Igboho. So from what I'm getting here now, an Oyo State High Court has granted an expert motion stopping the Department of State Security and the Attorney General of the Federation from arresting, intimidating, harassing, and blocking the bank account of the Yoruba Nation agitator Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. According to Justice Ladian Akintola, gave the order following an expert motion moved by his lawyer, Chief Yomi Aliu, at the court today. So quite a lot of development is happening, and the court has ordered that he must not be arrested, detained, killed in the next 14 days. According to the account, also said that his account should not be blocked. Yomi Aliu said after the case has now been adjourned to suit until the 18th of August. So this is coming out from Oyo State. This is the breaking news as well, as we continue to monitor all the other news coming out from Abuja and Oyo State. But again, quite a lot, we'll be discussing because of time constraint this morning due to the PMQ that we'll be going to at about 12 p.m. But later on this evening, our listeners should make sure that they tune in, where I'll be transmitting live from central London to discuss quite a lot in terms of, the development with Chief Sunday Igboho, those arrested, and I can say that people have been, camping at the Nigerian High Commission on a late night, for the Buhari in London. And tomorrow as well, there's a protest as well taking place. So quite a lot is happening, but we'll be giving all our listeners all that as well. I woke up just about mid-morning, about 5 o'clock, and I was watching what was trending. Something was happening in Jos. I'll be discussing that as well. But for now, let me quickly come back again to you in the studio. It's exactly 20 minutes past 11 this morning.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios. Now, let's look at this ex parte motion that was filed in Oyo State, and the fact that the courts have ruled that the DSS should not arrest him, should not kill him for 14 days. So what? After that 14 days, can they go on to behave that way again? You get my drift.
Well, let's remind our listeners, the reason why there was an ex parte motion filed on behalf of Chief Sunday Igboho in Oyo State today. First and foremost, if you remember, after that invasion of an assassination attempt on his life in Oyo State on the 1st of July, we end up realizing that the state governor probably was not aware of that, incident as the chief security of the state. So what happened is, the federal government and the machineries and the DSS and the Nigerian army that was based in Ibadan decided to invade Chief Sunday Igboho's house at about 1:30 a.m. 2 individuals were killed on that particular day, and not just only that, 12 innocent people were also taken away. 12 innocent Nigerians, or those that would prefer to be known as Yoruba, were taken away from his house. 31 days, they were not allowed any legal aid, they were not allowed any kind of support. But Chief Sunday Igboho decided to put, this case to the test as well in Oyo State, to the court. And that is probably why, we are getting that breaking news that as of today, the 4th of August 2021, the court has now restrained the DSS from arresting Chief Sunday Igboho, according to the to the court from Oyo State, where his lawyer has filed an ex parte motion, as we can call it, today. But once again, quite a lot of development, especially quite a lot of interest with this case as well. What is the meaning of ex parte, for those that probably are not in the legal term? What that literally means is a Latin legal term, meaning literally from, out of a party faction, thus signifying on behalf of someone. So, this has been filed on behalf of Chief Sunday Igboho by his lawyer, Chief Olayomi, done with respect to or in the interest of one side only, or of the interest of the outside party.
Interesting developments in Nigeria. But let's come to Abuja, where this case is going on at the moment. Supposed to go on. I don't know whether the court have sat at the moment. And the question is, have they presented all the 12?
Well, like I said, these is something that is also developing, and I'll be giving a bit of background to that, in just about a few minutes. But like I said, the 12, we were expecting to have them in the court. But what I can say is, let me just quickly bring that up, for those that are listening to us. The Lawless Department of State Service have now produced 12 Igboho'S aid in the court. They barred the journalists, just as usual, according to the judge Igboho, and on the July the 23rd, order the secret police to produce all the detainees in the court on the July the 29th. We realized that the DSS never brought them onto the, the court premises, putting, the kind of false information that they do all the time, that the names were not, correlated according to the names that they have, even though they never allowed the legal representative to have access to some of these, clients of theirs. So as at Monday, 8 of them were brought to the court, and then we were asking, where are the remaining 4? The judge requested that they should be brought again today, but what I can confirm from what I'm getting from Abuja, it seems the 12 people now have been brought to the court. But the journalists, and these are the problems in Nigeria and most African countries. Journalists tends not to be given access to the job that they love to do. I mean, I was watching the harassment of the DSS in the glare open court, with the cameras brimming, and you can imagine if the DSS could be, brushing and attacking a journalist right in the presence of the court, all you could think of what could happen if that was not in the presence of the court. But what I can confirm, it seems 12 people that were taken from Chief Sunday Igboho's house after the assassination attempt on his life has now been delivered to the High Court. According to the security agency, had flouted the order as they failed to produce them. But as I can say, the Department of State Service on Wednesday have now bowed to the Constitution and to the court of the law, the court of the land, brought all the 12 detainees of Yoruba Nation agitator Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, to the Federal High Court before Justice Obiora Iguatu. Officials of the DSS have also prevented journalists from entering the courtroom.
Well, they are a law to themselves, but I say it, power is transient, and it's just a matter of time. They have to actually think things through. Abiodun Adegzona says, good morning to Star Radio UK, and good morning to Mr. Olayomi Koiki, Yoruba Nation, no going back. Okay, now let's look at some of the other stories there. My apologies. You remember last time when this case was heard in the federal capital again, we had Sowore who was arrested. Now, what has happened to that? Is there a case against him? What happened?
Well, I mean, Sowore has become like a stinging bone in the hands of the DSS and the federal government. I mean, he's got a court case himself. He has been kept in Abuja. 2 years ago, tomorrow was actually when Sowore was picked up, by the DSS. I mean, if you go on his Twitter feed, you realize that he has pinned that particular video when the DSS busted into his hotel room 2 years ago and wanted to, not wanted, they took him away, and the rest they can say. I mean, I've got that saying here on the 5th of August, caught on the tape, how the Nigerian DSS operative illegally adopted Sowore, and this has been something that he has pinned on his Twitter handle since 2019. But tomorrow, he has said, he doesn't mind if he has to be arrested the day before, but he has asked everyone again to come out. And this time around, he has also invited those that are, the Yoruba and the Biafra and the Middle Belt to join this protest as well. But like I said, people have been camping, according to the information I have. In the last 8 days, that Buhari has been in London taking medical treatment after the education summit that he said he was coming down to do. So I'll be having a live broadcast later on Niger Voices from central London to find out whether this has been going on, and then some other activities, because if you remember, after Chief Sunday Igboho's house was invaded, people started coming out on a daily basis. Remember, people were also coming out from the Biafra just after Nnamdi Kanu was picked up as well. So it seems central London is now the point where the diaspora, the Nigerians, the Oduduwa, the Yoruba, the Biafra are venting their anger on the British government from not doing much as well. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. It's exactly 11:28. Because of time permit, we just go straight to some of those other headlines, and then we will be coming more later on at Niger Voices at exactly 1800 hours, where we'll be giving you all the news and all the development as it's breaking. So Central Bank of Nigeria has now issued guideline for payment service holding companies. That is coming from the headline as well. ACN CPC died in 2014 to give birth to the new Nigeria, according to Engineer Olusegun. That is coming from the headline as well. Suno Assurance posts 313 million profit. That is coming from the headline as well. Federal government should complete payment of the pension backlog. We've seen that most Nigerians that have worked, whether with the state or the federal, tend not to have, their pension after working 35, 40 years in service. And then most of them died trying to get some of this as well. It has become a big backlog. We've talked about it. And if you remember, this was how Minor, one of those, individuals that also took away a pension fund that was meant for, Nigerians, decided to flee to Niger State, and then it was picked up again. There has not been much on his name recently, but I'm just putting to find out what has been happening. So I've gone back now. 2 weeks ago, it seems court case closes, minor case adjourned for adoption of the final written witness. Let's give us a background to this case again, since we are discussing pension here. A federal high court in Abuja some 2 weeks ago on Friday have ordered the closure of the case of Abdulrasheed Minor, who was the chairman the Fund Pension Reform Tax Team. According to Justice Okon Agban, who gave the order, also fixed October the 4th for the parties in the case to adopt their final written addresses. According to the news agency of Nigeria, NAM, report that after an adoption of the final written address, a case is fixed for a judgment. According to Minor, the first defendant, who was arraigned before Justice Agban on October 25th, 2019 by the EFCC, the Economic Financial Crime, alongside his firm, Common Impute Property and Investment Limited, the second defendant, pleaded not guilty to 12-count charge bordering on money laundering to the tune of 2 billion naira. He ran away after it was ordered to be ordered to be remanded in the Kuje Correlation Center. Justice Akpan on January 28, 2019 varied Minor's bail condition following his inability to meet the bail terms granting him on the 26th of November 2019. 8 months after that, Akpan reduced Minor bail condition from 1 billion naira to 500 million. You can see that, we are talking about huge amount of money here, to get a surety to make sure it doesn't become somebody that is going to run away. But with that, with a surety in the like sum, who must be serving senator as opposed to the earlier order of the producing. But to cut it short, Minor jumped bail, fled to Republic of Niger State around September 2020. The court on November 18, 2020 revoked his bail, ordered his arrest anywhere he was found, and the court also ordered his trial to continue in his absentee. His surety in Dumi was remanded in Kuje prison for about 5 days before Minor was rearrested. So you can see, the kind of pain that Nigerians go through on a daily basis, especially those that have served the country, but yet the country refused to serve them. I'm just going to put a stop there because of time constraint. Come back again to you in the studio. This again is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And I'll report back again to you now in the studio in Croydon.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Before we go to the social media, what is trending there? The protesters who have gathered at the Nigerian High Commission, have they had any interaction with the officials there? Let's say the High Commission.
Okay, that is not going to happen. I'm sure you probably know that is never going to happen when it comes to officials. I mean, it's not the first time that protest has been happening when it comes to Nigerians in UK. I mean, I've looked back to history. I remember when let's go back as far back as after the 1993 election. Let's go a little bit further when Nelson Mandela was kept in the prison. So people have used the point of Nigerian High Commission as something to bring out their anger, their protest, their frustration. But when it comes to officials coming out to address them, you probably get none, because they are not interested. They'll rather come out and take a couple of pictures of those that are outside, their premises. And sometimes from information that we've had, police have decided to call them nuisance for calling the police all the time. Yes, I mean, they do have immunity to protection, by the British government. But, to their mind or to their thinking that people should not protest right in front of that building. But that protest continue even in the 21st century.
Well, let it continue. Now, let's have a quick look at Sunday Igboho'S case. Have there been any update from it, from there in Benin at all? Well,
as we speak right now, there has not been any update yet. And the reason for that is, a case has been adjourned until the court. And you've got to remember, the Beninese system, judicial system is different from Nigeria. So that means, we have to wait for the judge to give another date before, the sitting can take place. But until then, it remains in a safe place in the hands of the Benin. And while, his legal representatives have filed what we know as an asylum for him and continue to make sure that he's being well taken care of in the present and the in the system where he has been kept, within that system that we know when situation like that is happening, is an high profile person and he needs to be kept well and he needs to be well taken care of, both physically, mentally, and healthcare. And I can assure that the legal representatives are doing everything to make sure that he gets every necessary support that he needs to get. Also, just to talk about the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case as well, from information, the legal representative have now had opportunity to see him. He has sent greetings to all his, his followers from around the world, and from the information that we have as well. This is Star Radio UK, your finest and African and Caribbean radio station in London. So he has also be having access. We don't know when that is going to happen, but the British consular in Abuja will have access to him very soon.
Okay, that's a good one there. But somebody is asking a question pertaining to these 12 people who have been brought to the courts in Abuja. They are asking about their welfare. Have there been any pictures of them? How are they? Are they looking frail? Have they been mistreated or anything of the sort? Do you have any information about that?
Well, if you remember that we saw them on Monday, which was less than 48 hours ago. I mean, yes, there's no one in captivity, especially when it comes to the Nigerian system, that you might think you expect them to look very good. Yes, they look, from the picture that I've looked at, I've studied those pictures, I've looked at the video, they might look a little bit okay than we expected, but again, mentally, you might not be able to assess them, because somebody that has been kept for 31 days without any legal representative, and probably this might probably be their first time they're getting a fresh air, coming out, to the open. So mentally wise, we can only say that we cannot assess that, but looking at them physically, again, some of them seems to be tip-topping. That means that they probably have some kind of injuries in their legs as well. But again, we can only hope that things will change now that they've brought them to court. But probably maybe by the evening of Naija Voices, we would have more updates of whether they've been granted bail, what has happened in the court, and then we'll be giving more of that during Naija Voices at 6 p.m. later on this evening to all our listeners from around the world. Okay,
another question there, because people are interested and asking questions. Now, up to those 2 people who were killed, what are the DSS said about their bodies, their remains? Where are they? And has the court done anything about it? Let me say, Buki Gold, Adenomo Buki. Yes, good afternoon to you wherever you are. Yes, any information about that?
Well, the 2 people that were killed, murdered, right in that house on the 1st of July. I'm sure the legal representatives will be demanding, the judge to look into that and request the bodies from the DSS. It's quite shameful that DSS have decided to take these bodies away after they were murdered, and yet the family are still in pain of someone that have died, but yet they don't have access to the body. So I'm sure the legal representative will be putting that across to the judge during this sitting that I believe will officially go ahead now that we have the 12 right in the court in the Federal High Court in Abuja as we speak today.
Okay, listen, let's start ready. Okay, 11:38. But we'll go back to Mr. Olayomi Koiki for what is happening on the social media platform, and then we'll bring the updates to a close. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, what is trending? Ibadan seems to be trending. Buhari is trending as well. Ibadan is trending. Buhari is trending. And let's see why Ibadan is trending. It could be maybe because of I can say the governor earlier today, which was about 15 hours ago, welcomed the official of the PDP Reconciliation and Strategic Committee that was led by the former Senate President, Dr. Olubukola Saraki. The committee was in Ibadan to meet with the leaders and the stakeholders of our great party in Oyo State. That was yesterday, according to what is trending in Ibadan. Also, again, Lekon Salami Sport Complex, Dugbe, Ibadan, Oyo State. Won't forget Sheyi Makinde, and I hope they will have those facilities to maintain and take the next set of people to the Olympic, when we have it again. As yesterday, I was reading one of the, the competitor of the Olympic from Nigeria, had to do what we call wash and wear. What that means literally means is, he has to wash what he was putting on a day before, and that shows the kind of corruption system that we have in Nigeria. So Buhari, as we know, we continue to trend. He's the president of Nigeria, but it doesn't seem to be going well with quite a lot of Nigerians. And what I can say is IPOP threatened to bring down Nigerians' economic gives condition to Buhari government. That is about 15 hours ago. Reno Omokere says multiple communities in the northern Nigeria have peace pact with bandits and killer herdsmen, of which they pay them a certain amount every month. The Buhari government is fully aware of this, does nothing. That is why Igboho and Kanu will continue to have support.
Of course. I wouldn't have anything else to say about that, because if you, as who have been given the power to do so, to see to the protection and the security of the people, you are not doing so, and individuals thought, no, we have to stand up for our people, then why do you blame them? Why do you come after them? Why don't you go about after the bandits and those who are doing all those rubbish things there? Well, it is Star Radio UK. Prince Adebanjo Israel Bemi, he says, good afternoon, Star Radio. Good afternoon to you. I hope you are doing very, very well as well. Yomi, before you go.
Well, make sure you tune into Niger Voices. It's going to be, a very fantastic show later on this evening. And I'm sure we'll be speaking to quite a lot of the protesters right at the central London later on when we come around 6 p.m. for the fantastic show this evening. And for now, I say a very good morning and have a very blessed afternoon. But join me later on Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It's now gone, 19 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me announce the lines open if you want to join in the discussions. But
all right, I'm going to go now. I'll be back later on. I'm sure a lot of you are following all the development. I'll be back again. Have a very good morning.